Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Hell Zone. A very special charity stream. And I'm not very, I've never done this kind of thing before, so it's really just kind of a regular stream. But I have links up to good charities above my head here, instead of the normal stuff. But that's, hey, it is Autism Acceptance Month, Autism Awareness Month, whatever you want to call it. And so we are going to be doing charitable tingles today. Charitable tingles. We have some nice charities up here. The Autistic Women and Non-Binary Network, and the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network. Two nice charities that you could donate to, and I'm just here as an autistic person saying, hey, if you're the kind of person who has money that you like to donate to things, that autistic acceptance is a good cause. And these are two good places to accept that cause. How's everybody doing? Alex the OG, what's up? What's up, Doc? I say to you. I thought I'd start out with some nice, relaxing mic brushing, which can go well with whispers. Relaxing whispers. As we explain, what the stuff's all about. What's up? What's going on? This mic stand is wobbly today. I don't like that. I don't like a wobbly mic stand. I want it to be tough and firm. A rigid mic stand is the best kind. So, for those who would like to know about our charities, the Autistic Women and Non-Binary Network is a lot of what it says on the tin. A lot of their work goes towards helping autistic women in particular, and of course non-binary people as well. I shouldn't say of course, it's not a guaranteed thing, but the name does imply that. Now, they offer sponsorships to events and charitable projects just always like to make sure that we're steering people who want to donate to help autistic people towards organizations that are run by autistic people. They tend to know it's better because they are autistic themselves. I've gotten into it before, but there's a lot of people out there, a lot of organizations out there that are not that way. Places you might not want to donate to. Gotta avoid those. School was not too difficult for me. The only time last minute. And when the time for the test came around, when test time came around, this is what they had me do. The teacher said, okay, everybody, we're taking the test now. They said, hey Dan, come up here to the front of the class. Come up here to the front of the class. Already embarrassing. And then he had me sit at his chair, at his desk, right in front of the class, at the very front, and take the test there. That's the worst thing I could imagine. Imagine being in high school, being singled out and sitting at the front of their class while like everybody else in the class is like watching you. They're like, what's going on? Why are you sitting up there? Like, why are you special? Like, what is going on here? You know, because like high school people are already very judgmental. You know, anytime anything weird goes on that's different, they're like, oh, I've got to get to the bottom of this, you know. And on top of that, I'm taking a difficult test that I was already struggling with, right? A difficult subject for me. So I'm at the front of the class, and I'm supposed to have extra time on this test, right? But the entire time I'm taking the test, I'm like beet red. I'm super embarrassed because like I'm sitting in front of the class and everybody's like looking at me. You know, either when they finish the test or just during the test. They're like, you know, you can feel all these eyes on you, but they're like, oh, you're sitting at the teacher's chair. Like, why are you doing that? That's, you know, it's not a normal thing people do. And then, after the test was done for everybody else, they went and handed it in. I, of course, was still working on it because it's very difficult for me, like that essay questions and stuff, and I'm not good at essay questions. So, the test ended, and I was allowed to just continue, but so was the rest of the class. The rest of the class was like just going on. The teacher just like continued the class while I was continuing to take the test. So then, even though I had extra time, it was like there was this other lesson going on that am I supposed to listen to this? Am I supposed to absorb the information? Am I like supposed to like be focusing on the test, but I can't because I'm hearing like lecturing going on. And there's chatter from the people who are done taking the test, but I'm not done taking the test, so it's not quiet anymore. God, it was terrible. It was terrible. So, I did badly on the test, even though I had extra time. And I never took advantage of that ever again. That was the first and only time I took an extra time on a test. Even though I had calculus too, maybe it would have been great to take it on there, but you know what? Not worth it. Not worth the embarrassment, not worth the ostracizing of all that. And folks, this is why self-advocacy is important, because let me tell you, if an autistic person was in charge of designing the extra time for students, they probably would have brought some of the stuff up and said, hey, don't do that. But instead, when you're just like, I don't know, who cares? Just go sit over there and take the test. I don't know. It's not so good. Not so good. I was reminded of that story because I was watching this documentary about the college admissions scandal that happened a couple of years ago. Do any of you remember that? Do any of you remember the college admissions scandal where a lot of people, including the, what was her name? The McLaughlin lady who was like on Full House, the Full House girl who like cheated to have her daughters get into a college by like lying about their extracurricular activities and things like that. It was a documentary on that, and as part of it, a lot of the parents were like trying to use the loopholes of getting extra time to take the SATs, right? Extra time to take the SATs, which I didn't take. I was already special needs or something, and then you could get extra time on the tests, and it'd be no problem. And these were people who, definitely did not need that. Spaghetters. Thank you for following. Hello, spaghetters. Yeah, so that was, watching that was just ridiculous to me, because it was people who were like, it's not fair that all these autistic people get to take advantage of this extra time, and we don't get to take advantage of that time, What the hell, right? And I was just sitting there and like, man, taking extra time on a test was like awful. That was an awful experience. What are you talking about? Anyway, that was my school's experience. I'm sure other people have had better experiences with it. I hope so. I'm glad you're here to relax. That's great. I'm sorry to hear that you're not having a good day. Just try to relax, Juan Carlos. Just try to relax. Just one of those funny things, My school was, I would say, notorious, but nobody has ever called them out for it. I just hated their special education program so much because it was the worst. It was the worst because, I don't think anyone thought about it more than 10 minutes. I think people probably only came up with the entire thing in about 10 minutes and said, we're good, we nailed it, let's not think about this anymore for 50 years. They had one special education class for every type of special education need. Talking people with cerebral palsy, talking people who were in a wheelchair, talking people who had autism, myself, all in one class. That's what they wanted anyway. They had the resources for one class and taught one class altogether. And they didn't end up pulling me into it until high school, because I guess I fell through the cracks before then. If you can believe that. Geigen Legendary. Thank you for following. Welcome to the Hell Zone. So, if you can believe that, they didn't even pull me into it at all until about high school, maybe the grade before, I think maybe, where we were all, basically what would happen is they pulled me out of, I remember math class, to go out of math class and go into this other room. So the special education teacher came to our classroom and said, Dan, come over here, and then led me over to the special education classroom, where they taught everyone, like I said, every special education need in the class, in the school, all together at once. And that's not good. It's not good because that's not helpful. It's just not helpful, right? If your handicap is that you're in a wheelchair, why would you be in the same class with other people who have different education needs, right? If you're, I was mad because I needed to learn math, right? We had tests coming up. I needed to learn the math, and they took me out of math class to go sit in the room and learn about idioms. I remember we were learning about idioms. So that would be like, they would tell us hey, okay, so this is what they said. Okay, they were like, do you know what someone says when they say, that's not my cup of tea? That's not my cup of tea. And I would be like, no, I've never heard that in my life. What does that mean? That means, oh, I don't like that. It means, I don't like that. And it's because they would pick, I guess someone would pick a different cup of tea, right? It's like a phrase that I've heard maybe once or twice in my life, only because I know about that and remember it from this memory of learning about idioms from special education class when I was supposed to be learning algebra, trigonometry. So what happened was, this happened once, twice. I don't remember exactly the number of times, but let's say time number 3, I would not have it anymore. The teacher came by, the special education teacher came by to math class, and they said, Dan, come over here. It's time to go. It's time to go. It's time to go. It's time to go. And I said, I know I seem very outspoken now, but I was not back then. I was like, no, I'm not going. I don't need to go there. I need to learn math. And then the special education teacher got very mad at me. Thank you for following Macan. Special education teacher got super mad. They were like, Dan, you were supposed to come over here. And I was like, no, I need to learn this. I'm not going. You can't make me go. What are you gonna do? And then she was just like, fine, I'm going by. And I just continued to learn math. And then I never had to go because I think she was embarrassed. Because you can't force me to go to the special education class. And it was a good decision that I made that, and I didn't just keep going because I would have fallen behind in school, It's that was not what I needed. That was for my education level, I needed to be in the regular class learning the regular stuff. I gotta know how to add numbers together, Gotta know how to subtract, multiply, divide, PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Gotta learn that shit. Am I in a car? Hell yeah, I'm in a car. Are you in a car, Alexis? Are you in a car? Oh, hello, Golfman, hello. So that's my story about the special education program at my school, and how great it was, and how I was just ushered through the school system, super easy peasy, no problems, leeching off the lap of luxury. All that stuff. I'm doing well, Golfman. I'm having a good day. How about you? Are you having a good day, Golfman? Yeah. Math class is difficult. I was fairly good at math, but there comes a point, I feel like, where math can always get ahead of you, There's always one step ahead of what you're prepared for. Calculus 1, Calculus 2, Mega Calculus. A lot of people don't think that Mega Calculus is real, but that's just because they weren't advanced enough to learn it. Only the really smart people know about Mega Calculus. If you don't believe me, you're not one of them, sorry. School board Miss Goldman. So, very late in life they're diagnosed, and it was only because of actually, like, talking with me about stuff about autism, where they obviously were autistic their entire life, right? Oh, okay. That one guy. I'm gonna do a water sip for you. So, the story. So my friend, she was never able to be diagnosed, didn't even know that she was autistic, had no idea. But, since we became friends, and over time, I started talking about experiences with autism a little bit more. And, Juan Carlos, sorry, we have a thing where people can't post super long messages just because sometimes they spam, but I will read your comment, okay? You said your school does this thing where everyone who is in the special education program gets an aide that follows them around and helps them with whatever they need help with. They also have a class called a resource room where it's more one-on-one. They help you understand your work and get it done. That sounds very helpful. See, the problem is with my school is that we had an aide that followed around everyone. We had one aide for everybody, and that was the problem. That was mainly the problem, is that we only had one, because it was massively underfunded, I guess. Just like, why would you need to fund a special education program? It should just be part of the funding regularly. But anyway, my friend was talking with me, and I would share some of these stories, for instance, and, she would listen to me tell these stories, and she'd be like, hey, I kind of had a similar experience. I would talk about, like, weird, like, social things that happened, like faux pas that I would do over time as a kid, because it's like I didn't know any better. Aria Daria, thank you for following. Welcome to the Hell Zone. And, she would be like, hey, wait a minute, I also did the same thing. I did that same thing too. And, over time, over the months, she was like, I've been thinking that you say a lot of these things. And it's like, I kind of feel like I might also be autistic. I don't know, do you think that's possible? And then I was like, I do think that's possible, because because I already knew this, statistically, women are extremely underdiagnosed with autism. If you're my age, when we were growing up, or if you're older, doctors just wouldn't consider it. They just probably wouldn't even consider it, and even nowadays, Leonardo Terrazas, thank you for following. Welcome to the Hell Zone. And another thing is that, like, doctors can be sexist as well. It seems that doctors can sometimes be sexist, and they will look at a lot of the behaviors that women are doing that are from autism, and they'll be like, oh, it's just because she's a woman, right? It's just because she's a girl, right? And that sucks. But that's happened. That's statistically happened a lot over the years. And so you'll have a lot of instances where a lot of women are autistic and are not diagnosed. are diagnosed, then they're not given the care that they need because, it just sucks being a woman sometimes. It just sucks being a woman sometimes. And, a lot of the times even more for non-binary people because it's like they're often not even included in that, which is why I'm really glad that it's like the autistic women and non-binary network because it's like, rolls it all up into one, doesn't forget about anybody. That's something I like. DVA leg, thank you for following. Welcome to the Hell Zone. So she was talking to me and I told her all that stuff and she was like, yeah, actually, I do know about that because it took her forever to be diagnosed also with bipolar because she has bipolar, because that isn't also a thing where doctors would just be like, oh, you're just being emotional, or, is it that time of the month, or, awful stuff like that. And so it took a long time for her to get diagnosed with that, but that was a lot earlier. That was in high school that she was diagnosed with bipolar. And now she's 30, and she's 30 now, because I'm 30, we went to school together. Then she talked to her psychiatrist that she sees for bipolar, and just basically was like, hey, do you think I might also be autistic? This was something that I've been talking about. And then he was like, I can see that, yeah, I can see that actually. And then they did a couple of like tests. They have like questionnaires they ask, and they go through some things like that. And then she got an official diagnosis. Actually, she got a diagnosis that she was autistic, and it's like nothing really changed as a result of that. It's not like she has like, she's got money coming in the bank now or anything like that. It's like a lot of it is just so that she's able to understand herself better. But even that is really helpful, has been really helpful to her. She's been able to make a lot of changes in her life to make things work better for her because she knows, okay, when I'm experiencing a lot of these things where like maybe I'm getting like a sensory overload, that maybe that's okay, right? That I don't have to just push through it and be like stressed out for no reason. Which is like, you might listen to that maybe like, people might be like, yeah, of course, right? But it might not occur to you. If you don't know about autism, you don't know that that might be a thing, you don't know that that's something that isn't normal. So it's been really helpful, and that's one of the reasons having that experience for me of like, we're talking about my own experience, like helped her realize that she might be autistic. That was one of the reasons I was like, okay, I've got to be way more open about this in the future to people, because it's like, if that can help anybody, that I'm interested in that. I'm interested in helping people along that lines of like, just talking about the dumb stuff I did, can help with that. That I'm more than happy to do that. And so that's another reason that you might look towards the autistic women and non-binary network. Or if you're somebody who's like, hey, I don't have any money to donate, it's just good to learn stuff too. Just good to learn that stuff too. Just, expand your mind, man. Expand your mind. But, we at the Hell Zone, we have a lot of folks who are autistic, or know people who are autistic. I mean, you'd think that would encompass a lot of people, but, it's a good place. It's a good place. And if there was an autism tag on Twitch, I would use it. But there isn't. Why is there not? It's another thing. It's like, like Twitch is like, they're like, they've got tags for a lot of shit, right? They've got tags for like, hey, I'm doing a special run of this one, like a game that, like, I don't know, like, I don't want to like make fun of anybody's specific thing that they do, but they have a lot of specific tags, but they don't have autism, It's a pretty big thing. Maybe you'd want to have that as a tag, I don't know. What do you think, Jeff Bezos? What do you think? nursery rhyme. Let's do some nursery rhyming. Oh, learn your ABCs with Cocomelon. Wow. Okay, here's one called Five Little Monkeys. Five little monkeys. Five little monkeys. Five little monkeys. Five little monkeys jumping out the bed. One fell down and bumped his head. Mom called the doctor, and the doctor said, no more monkeys jumping out the bed. Four little monkeys jumping out the bed. One fell down and bumped his head. Mom called the doctor, and the doctor said, no more monkeys jumping out the bed. Three little monkeys jumping out the bed. One fell down and bumped her head. Mom called the doctor, and the doctor said, no more monkeys jumping out the bed. Thank you for following Nico Rubens. Two little monkeys jumping out the bed. One fell down, bumped his head. Mom called the doctor, and the doctor said, no more monkeys jumping on the bed. One little monkey jumping on the bed. She fell down and bumped her head. Mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, put those monkeys back to bed. Imagine calling the doctor that many times at night. Jeez. Doctor's gotta sleep too. Come on. We've got a couple of extra ones here. There's a lot of these that are British. A lot of them are British. Isn't that weird? Can I try Hickory Dickory Dock? Jesh's smile would let me do Hickory Dickory Dock. Yes. Okay. Hickory Dickory Dock. The mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck one. The mouse ran down. Hickory Dickory Dock. Hickory Dickory Dock. The mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck two. The mouse ran down. Hickory Dickory Dock. Hickory Dickory Dock. The mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck three. The mouse ran down. Hickory Dickory Dock. It doesn't rhyme, does it? Doesn't it? Is this the full version? Is this the full version of the song? Do I have to subscribe to their Patreon to see the full version of the song? This one is different. This one says, Hickory Dickory Dock, the mouse on the bus go shh, 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 shh. Why is there a mummy on the bus? The mummy on the bus goes shh, shh, shh. All through the town. Oh, like a mom. I thought they were talking about like a mummy, like in the movie The Mummy starring Brendan Fraser. The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round, all through the town. The cow jumped over the moon. Okay, I don't know if it's a nursery rhyme. Might not be on the list. Let's see. Cow jumped over the moon. We got it. How was Vicky? She was good. She made it through the flight. Never gave back my 30th. Okay. The cow jumped over the moon. Here it is. Hey diddle diddle. The cat and the fiddle. The cow jumped over the moon. The little dog laughed to see such fun, and the dish ran away with a spoon. Hey diddle diddle. The cat and the fiddle. The cow jumped over the moon. The little dog laughed to see such fun, and the dish ran away with the spoon. Hey diddle diddle. The cat and the fiddle. The cow jumped over the moon. The little dog laughed to see such fun, and the dish ran away with the spoon. And I guess it just repeats over and over again. Jim O.B. What's up? How about Baba Black Sheep? I like the sounds of that. It's some ASMR sounds. Baba Black Sheep. Baba Black Sheep. Baba Black Sheep. Have you any more? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 3 bags full. 1 for the master, 1 for the dame, 1 for the little who's down the lane. And I guess that's it. Is that the end of the song? Did they not have like an ending? I feel like there should be an ending line to the song. Catch a tiger by the toe. If he hollers, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. My mother told me to pick the very best one, and U-R-I-T. Period. Did I pick you? Answer in the comments if I picked you. Ooh, there's an old version apparently, which is like uses like old English. It seems like it's like some kind of Scottish or German, Cornish. Interesting. Eena meena mine mo. Catch a mouse by the toe. If he squeals, let him go. Eena meena mine mo. I didn't know about that. Interesting. Humpty Dumpty. The Humpty Dance. We can do the Humpty Dance. Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty. This one's fairly short again. Good night, Riot. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Makes you think, really makes you think, doesn't it? Hey, today's Easter, isn't it? I mean, it's over now. It's over now, but I just realized it was Easter today. Shout outs to the Humpty Dumptys out there who got their Humpty Dumpty on today. Logan was not aware that it was Autism Awareness Month. Well then, I think my work here is done. Time to go back to my planet. London Bridge is falling down is it's a little bit creepy as well. Of course, we're going to read it. London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady. Build it up with wood and clay, wood and clay, wood and clay. Build it up with wood and clay, my fair lady. Wood and clay will wash away, wash away, wash away. Wood and clay will wash away, my fair lady. Build it up with bricks and mortar, bricks and mortar, bricks and mortar. Build it up with bricks and mortar, my fair lady. Bricks and mortar will not stay, will not stay, will not stay. Bricks and mortar will not stay, my fair lady. Build it up with iron and steel, iron and steel, iron and steel. Build it up with iron and steel, my fair lady. Iron and steel will bend and bow, bend and bow, bend and bow. Iron and steel will bend and bow, my fair lady. Build it up with silver and gold, silver and gold, silver and gold. Build it up with silver and gold, my fair lady. Silver and gold will be stolen away, stolen away, stolen away. Silver and gold will be stolen away, my fair lady. Set a man, watch all night, watch all night, watch all night. Set a man to watch all night, my fair lady. Suppose the man should fall asleep, fall asleep, fall asleep. Suppose the man should fall asleep, my fair lady. Give him a pipe to smoke, a pipe to smoke, a pipe to smoke. Give him a pipe to smoke, my fair lady. And that's the end of the song. I guess they solved the problem with, I assume, marijuana, perhaps cocaine. You be the judge. I think marijuana would probably have the opposite effect. I'm going to assume it was a crack pipe. I assume they solved the problem by making the bridge out of gold and steel, silver and gold, and giving a man a pipe laden with crack cocaine to keep him awake for all hours of the day. Logan would like me to say silver, silver. I did say silver during the song, but I will say it now. Silver, 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 silver. Hello, Riza. Silver, 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 silver. Let's do another one. We have a couple left before we end up doing all of the songs that exist. Might as well do them all. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. This has several other verses to go with that. I don't believe that seems not canonical to me. Did you know that they share the same tune with, obviously, the alphabet song, but also the French song Voudrais maman from 1761? that's where it comes from, I guess. Riz would like me to say sapphire, 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 sapphire. That seems like that's a sassy kind of word. Sapphire. Who are our French listeners? I'm trying to remember who's from France, because sometimes I know there's some people who are from France, there's some people who are from Germany. But if you're watching this either now or later, leave me a line if you know the French song Vous le dérangez maman from 1761. I've never heard of that, but apparently that's the song that is the basis for Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and the alphabet song. We also have a couple of international songs and rhymes. Alouette, Bella Ciao, Bea Ciao, La Cucaracha. And Christmas songs, but that seems weird to do. It's a different holiday right now. It's not Christmas. So I'm not going to do those. Though I sometimes will randomly sing like Christmas songs when it's not Christmas, because that's funny to me for some reason. I don't know why. Je smile.